Hi traders, it's been a while since I did my last video. Sorry about that, I've been really busy traveling between Singapore and Malaysia. Finally had some time to settle down today to actually publish this video to share with you certain things that I'm looking at, especially for next week. Alright, so before we go into the chart, I would like to point out what exactly I'm looking at. Next week on Wednesday, alright, this is Singapore time, at 10 PM we do have the upcoming Bank of Canadian BOC rate statement. Alright, you can see over here the overnight rate is expected to maintain at 1.25. Alright, the forecast is to be maintained at 1.25. But having said that, this rate statement itself, whether the interest rate of Canadian will be increasing or decreasing, won't really affect much because the forecast is the same. But the rate statement, which means that what is going to be mentioned in the report and in the statement in terms of forward guidance, might give some movement and volatility into the Canadian currency. Okay, so with that, I would like to shoot out this video here talking mainly on the Canadian dollar. Right, and of course showing you not only in terms of our analysis, but walking you through a little bit about the thought process and how we approach our analysis. So this chart over here is the Canadian dollar currency index, alright, which is a basket of currencies that is along with Canadian. So instead of looking at various currency pairs, usually what we do is we just look at the index, the currency index, to give us a better picture as to where the currency is likely to head going forward. Alright, this is on the daily chart. Okay, so what I see over here is we have an impulse move, alright, since somewhere early May last year, mid last year. Alright, we have a strong impulse move to the upside. Following that, since September last year, we have been in the correction. Okay, you can see over here 1, 2, 3. This is basically a correction which has been completed. Alright, it has met the basic 3-wave expectation. And the most recent move that we see since early April, late March this year, was a very strong move to the upside. It's an impulse move to the upside. Right, so that gives us the understanding that likely this is the very bottom, the recent low is the very bottom that we might see in near term, and we're gonna expect more upside following that, alright, breaking this high over here at 82.8 in the Canadian dollar currency. Right, so this is the daily perspective. Alright, so I'm going to drop it down over here that daily target will be at this high around the 82.8. Right, and I'll put it here as we go down to the lower time frame to work on our charts. Alright, now going down to the 4-hour, okay, this is definitely an impulse move, and based on our experience and what we share with all the traders in our community, we don't jump into a trade when we see an impulse move. Alright, we would like to see what I call a corrective nature of the market. Okay, and one that's formed, it helps to confirm the direction. Right, and of course, if we see a corrective move here, we do expect very high probability the next move is to the upside. Alright, so now we are now somewhere mid this week. Alright, so we have about 3 to 4 trading days to go before the next BOC rate statement is coming in next week. So having said that, if the next 3 to 4 days, alright, the Canadian dollar starts to correct itself, okay, that will give us a very nice setup to look for the upside and the BOC rate statement as a catalyst to push this up. Okay, however, if the next few days market continue to do this, alright, which is what we call a crawling out pattern, losing momentum, alright, but price is still moving up higher, then going into the BOC rate statement, our bias would be to sell the Canadian dollar currency. Okay, so this is the big picture, depending on what is going to happen in the market for the next few days leading into the BOC rate statement. Right, so to give you some perspective, I'll pull in a simple Fibonacci ratio measurement. Okay, if price were to correct, alright, we would expect a 3-wave move to the downside. 1, 2, 3. Right, reaching somewhere at 78 level to 77.6. That will give us a very nice buy opportunity targeting higher. Okay, in this scenario, if this happened, we'll be looking out for the lower time frame target around the 81.5. Right, so now let me add that in. Right, under scenario 1, which is bullish in this case, we will be expecting the target. Alright, let me put this like that. H4 target would be at 81.50. Right, so this is the first scenario. Okay, and of course, if this is not what price is gonna do for the next 3 to 4 days, but they continue to crawl higher, right? Giving you a quick measurement, the move up would likely, tag the 80, okay, and of course higher. Let me pull in that ratio to give you some perspective. Perhaps somewhere towards 80.6. If that happens, then that will be our scenario 2. We would then of course expect, right, market to come down. We'll be looking for that sell opportunity, which means that under scenario 2, which is a bearish setup, then our H4 target will likely be shorting it towards 7850. Right, so this is the analysis based on what's going to happen for the next 3 to 4 days leading into the BOC rate statement. Okay, now let me go to the lower time frame, okay, which is the trading time frame that we usually work on, the hourly. Now over here, what I'm seeing is price has gave us 3 move, 1, 2, and the third move up. Right, so this basically completes what we call a wave expectation, and usually when this happens, we do expect a deeper correction. Okay, somewhere towards 50% to 618 region. Okay, that is your scenario 1, and having seen this, that gives me that bias, that likelihood, the higher probability scenario will be of course scenario 1 as compared to scenario 2, right? That being said means that if you have a long Canadian position, I would rather you take some profits off the table, because we are expecting this retracement to come in slightly deeper, right? And if this is gonna happen the next few days, alright, which means starting from today all the way to next BOC rate statement, the Canadian currency should be moving slightly lesser, right? Which means volatility is gonna drop, and we're gonna expect this to fall lower. Okay, so this is based on the lower time frame. I'm expecting that to happen, and of course, if I pull in my Fib, right, you can see that it has hit the targets over here between the 100 to 123. Alright, so in terms of that ratio, Fibonacci ratio expectation, it has also hit that completion. Okay, so this gives us a high probability that this will happen, which means that moving forward, alright, if it's gonna start correcting, I'll be looking for a long position around the 50%, with my stops just behind the 77 or 786 Fibonacci retracement, and of course my target will be based on 81.5 as first take profit, alright, and 82.8 will be my long-term target on daily chart, right? And of course, if scenario 2 happen, I'll be looking for that short opportunity going into BOC rate statement. Right, so having said all this, there are a few days before the BOC rate statement, and every Monday during evening time at 7 p.m. In Singapore, we usually run our weekly traders meetup. Alright, and of course, if you're based in Singapore, this meetup is open to everyone, the public, to get you guys in to see how we analyze the market, interact with some of our traders in the community, right? And of course, sharing with you what is the week's market outlook. And of course, having said that, our next meeting will be this coming Monday. Alright, and we definitely gonna be focusing and talking much on the Canadian dollar currency leading into BOC rate statement. And of course, with today's market movement and Friday's market movement, it will give us more information as to understanding whether scenario 1 is likely to happen or scenario 2. And during that Monday meetup, we're definitely gonna talk about not trading the currency, the Canadian currency index per se, but understanding the perspective from Canadian dollar currency index, which currency pair would give us that higher probability setup to take the trade. Right, so if you are in Singapore, this would be a session that you definitely would like to join in. How you can RSVP, two ways. One is you go over to our Facebook page at Alpha Play Forex Trading School. You just have to scroll down to the bottom segment where you would see there's an events, upcoming events tab, right? You just need to click into it, and it will lead you to the page where you can click find tickets, right? It will bring you to Eventbrite where you can RSVP, right? So the event starts at 7 p.m. it ends somewhere around 9 p.m. It's a 2 hours meetup session, and the location will be at SGX Center 2, level 13. Okay, the other way is you can go over to our website at alphaplay.com.sg, scroll down a little bit at the right hand corner. Okay, you see here weekly profitable traders meetup. Sign up for free, just click onto that image. It will lead you back to Eventbrite as well. Right, so this is what we are preparing for going into next week BOC rate statement. Right, and of course how you can also profit from this potential risk event that's happening next Wednesday. Okay, so other than that, I will see you guys in the meetup. Right, so see you then on Monday.